Thank you for joining us for College Commons Week as we explore the next steps in the college admissions process. My name is Janine Couture and I'm with the College Foundation of West Virginia. We are extremely excited to host our second annual College Commons Week event, an opportunity that allows us to work together with college campuses to help students navigate the college-going process. This afternoon, we are pleased to announce that a representative from West Virginia Wesleyan has joined us for this webinar series. Joining us from West Virginia Wesleyan is Leah Ripley, the Associate Director of Admissions. Thank you for joining CFWV for this new statewide initiative. Through this initiative, we aim to help West Virginia students and families prepare for and transition to college. As I get ready to turn this presentation over to our presenter, I ask that you use the chat box to ask any questions you may have throughout our time together this afternoon. Staff will address those questions and ensure that they are answered before we conclude today's webinar. This webinar is being recorded and will be made available on cfwv.com later this week. With that being said, Leah, welcome, and now I turn this webinar over to you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for joining me for this session today, where we're going to talk a bit about the next steps in the college going process. And I appreciate being a participant with College Commons Week alongside the College Foundation of West Virginia. As stated, my name is Leah Ripley, and I am the Associate Director of Admissions at West Virginia Wesleyan. And to go ahead and get started, we're going to go ahead and talk about the next steps for our students that are enrolled at the college. First of all, I want to congratulate you on your decision to attend West Virginia Wesleyan. We're thrilled to have you on campus this fall. And so what I'm going to talk about today is essentially the things that you want to do, the items you want to make sure you're checking off from this moment in time until you arrive on campus in August when classes begin on August the 23rd. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, I'm happy to announce that as of May the 3rd, which was just yesterday, when this recording is happening in real time, we were able to launch the orientation page on our website. The orientation page, you'll see the direct link is here, wvwc.edu/orientation. This is the one-stop shop for all of our enrolled students. Any questions that you have, anything that you're wondering when a deadline is, when does something need to be completed, where can I go to find that form that I need or that thing that I need to do before I arrive to campus can be found at this web address. So you'll see at the bottom, there are a combination of links there highlighted in orange, and those links you'll select based upon your current status as a new student. So to start from the top, a non-registered freshman is an enrolled student who has not yet registered for fall semester classes. We just completed priority registration for new students for fall semester classes about a week or so ago. And the next opportunity to register for fall semester classes will be on May the 17th. So on May the 17th, that process of registering online for fall semester classes will reopen. And if you have not already completed that process, you would then click the non-registered freshman link, and then the online registration form would be there for you to go ahead and make your fall semester classes selection. If you are a student who is lucky enough, which I would say about 95% of our class so far have already completed online registration for fall semester classes, if you were part of that process a couple of weeks ago, you would be considered a registered freshman because you have already registered for fall classes. That would be the link that you would click. And then if you would happen to be a new transfer student, you would select the transfer link there in the center. So essentially, depending, a lot of the content within those landing pages, when you click the links, are exactly the same. However, there are bits and pieces of those landing pages that are catered to you based upon your status at that time. So if you think about which of those statuses you are, click the appropriate link, and absolutely everything that you need to complete these next steps that I'm about to talk about will be there for you, readily accessible and easy to navigate and find. One of the primary pieces that is important that you begin learning, that you figure out, and that you start doing really sooner rather than later is learning how to access your account. All students that are enrolled at the college at this point in time do have usernames and passwords created for them. We don't just send out to you like, Susie, this is your username and password. We don't send it out that way. So you'll go to that orientation landing page, select registered or non-registered or transfer student, and then there's links in there to allow you to determine what your username and password is. As you can see here, your Wesleyan login and password access all of the accounts that you're going to need your entire duration of a student at West Virginia Wesleyan College. That's going to include your Wesleyan email address, the self-service portal, which is where you can access your student account, make payments on your bill, Web Advisor, where you can access your class schedule electronically 24/7, and also Blackboard, which Blackboard is your course management system. It's where your professors are going to communicate to you, share assignments with you, messaging with you about each of the different courses that you are enrolled in each semester. My recommendation is jumping on that orientation page, finding the account access information, and starting to determine right away what your Wesleyan username and password is so that you can quickly start accessing these things and getting in the habit of not only doing it, but getting in the habit of doing it routinely. For example, once really from this point forward, now that you're enrolled, every office on campus, including your professors for your classes, will primarily begin communicating with you now through your Wesleyan email. If you wait until August to access your Wesleyan email account for the very first time, you're going to see that you've missed an entire summer's worth of communication from different offices and potentially your professors on campus. So you don't want to start off that way. I recommend we use Gmail, get that Gmail app downloaded to your phone and start logging into that Wesleyan email, especially more so than any of the other platforms as soon as possible so that you're not missing communication. And so you're getting in that routine, which is going to set you up truly for success for the next 4 years you're in college. I touched briefly on your student account. Your student account is essentially your bill, and it's a very vital piece of your readiness and one of the check boxes to be sure that you're handling prior to your arrival to campus in August. We will be mailing your bills in early June. And as I mentioned, you can also access those electronically using your Wesleyan username and password via the different platforms that I mentioned, which are all accessible also on the orientation page on the website that I mentioned at the very beginning. You'll see here that the deadline to make payment or to handle your student account is August the 1st. This is most likely, I would boldly state, the single most important thing that you can do before you arrive to campus is meeting this August 1st deadline. There's essentially 2 options for how to handle your bill when it is mailed to you this summer. First of all, keep in mind that the bill that we're sending this summer is for the fall semester only. So whatever your account balance is, you're not handling your bill this summer for the entire year. You're only handling half of it. We're only going to look at the fall semester to begin with. So you essentially have 2 options. You have the option to pay your fall semester balance in full or to enroll in a payment plan. As I mentioned, I'm going to keep reverting back to that orientation page that I talked about at the very beginning. When you go to the orientation page and you select your status as a registered, non-registered freshman or a transfer student, you'll see buttons, call to action buttons that really help push you into finding exactly what it is what you're trying to accomplish. So if you're looking to pay your fall semester balance, you go to that orientation page on the website, you're going to see a bright orange button that says, pay my balance. You click it, it's going to take you where you need to go to handle that. Likewise, if what you're trying to accomplish is to enroll in a payment plan, you will also see a bright orange button that says enroll in a payment plan, and it's going to take you to this website that you see here at the bottom, payplan.officialpayments.com. No need to commit that to memory or jot it down. Just remember that it's accessible to you by clicking the enrollment or the payment plan enrollment button on the orientation page on our website. You'll see that there are a number of different payment plans that you can enroll in, including a 3-month, a 4-month, and a 5-month payment plan. One of the nicest things that I think about the student accounts process is you don't have to be enrolled in the same payment plan option each semester. So maybe in the fall semester, you elect to enroll in the 3-month payment plan, but then when your spring account is coming due and you're getting ready to pay your spring semester bill, you can go ahead and enroll in a different payment plan because circumstances might change, and we understand that. And therefore, the student accounts process is very flexible for you and your family in that regard. I've already touched a time or two on WebAdvisor. I do want to speak on it briefly, however. WebAdvisor can be found at the very bottom of the WVWC homepage. The direct web address is listed there for you. This is where you can access your class schedule. Wesleyan is still a little bit old school, and I appreciate it in that we do still mail our class schedules out to you. So if you're part of the several hundred students that have already been registered for fall semester classes, you've likely already received that piece of paper in the mail. And if you have not yet enrolled in fall semester classes, you'll be able to start that process in just a couple of weeks. And then once it's completed, we will mail that piece of paper to you with your fall semester class schedule on it. However, we understand the odds of you losing that piece of paper are very high. So WebAdvisor is where you can go to access your real-time class schedule 24/7. So there's an electronic resource for you to use to access that schedule. In addition, you may be somebody who has to do a schedule change of some sort. You may elect to change a class after you've already been scheduled, or change your major, in which case your fall semester schedule could change. Rather than waiting for it to come in the mail, just know you can jump on WebAdvisor anytime. And once that change is made in our system, WebAdvisor is going to reflect that change to you electronically in real time. With that being said, WebAdvisor works hand in hand with our textbooks process. Accessing your schedule and being able to see the course number and the section number of your classes for the fall semester is the tool that you need in order to purchase your textbooks. We use a website called eCampus. The web address is there, and you'll see that eCampus, which is our electronic bookstore, does not open until July 15th. So while many of you may already have your fall semester schedule, keep it handy, but you can't actually order the books for those classes until eCampus opens on July 15th. However, once again, should you lose that paper copy, log into WebAdvisor using your username and password that you've already will have determined by then. And then when you go, you can go to eCampus on July 15th to then go ahead and purchase your textbooks. So as I mentioned, this is an online textbook ordering process for us. We do not have a physical bookstore on campus. So don't expect to move in August and to be able to go to the bookstore and buy your textbooks. You want to complete that process ahead of moving on campus. So it's a virtual process. It is a marketplace. So there's over 600 vendors on eCampus providing you a multitude of options for each textbook that you need to purchase them new, to purchase them used, or you can even opt to rent your textbooks. I think the nicest thing about eCampus is that at the end of each semester, they physically come to West Virginia Wesleyan's campus so that if you need to sell back a book, or if you rented a book and you need to turn it in at the end of the semester, to help save you on shipping costs, eCampus comes to campus. You can go to wherever it is that they're set up, which is usually in our campus center, turn your books in and save on shipping costs. So this is a really nice, efficient and economical process for our students. All new students must complete their health form in order to begin classes in the fall. You'll see the due date for that is July 15th. And just like everything else I've talked about, there is a button on the orientation page on the website where you can go ahead and click to submit your health form. It'll pull up a PDF document. When you complete the PDF, it's a fillable document. Once completed, you'll go ahead and have that document printed. Once printed, you'll see that you do need to get a signature from a medical professional. Once that signature is on that completed form, you can scan that and email it to healthforms@wbwc.edu. Important note here, we've really worked to simplify our health form process. We only require of our students what the state of West Virginia requires and nothing else. Here you'll see is a little bit of a checklist. If you're a little type A like me, I like to see things very like plain and simple and very visually like this. So we try to keep all of our due dates and processes as simplified as possible. So if you can remember 2 dates, remember July 15th is an important date. And as you can see, August 1st, equally as important. July 15th is when your health forms are due, when your proof of health insurance is due. It's also when eCampus, the online bookstore, all opens and is due on July 15th. On August 1st, that's when all of our other deadlines are. August 1st is the recommended deadline for you to have your final high school transcript submitted and any college credit or AP credit that you've completed also submitted at that point in time. My recommendation is as soon as your high schools have those final transcripts with your graduation date listed on them, go ahead and request that they have that sent to West Virginia Wesleyan just so that you don't forget about it. And then the same goes for your college credit and your AP exam scores as well. Once August gets closer, and especially once classes start, these final transcripts, college credit and AP credit are going to become an afterthought. So the sooner you get it done, the sooner you get it out of the way, the better. And ultimately, we want to ensure that you get credit for all of the classes that you should be receiving credit for. And finally, on August 1st, you'll see that that, as a reminder, is also when you need to handle your student account, meaning you either need to pay your account balance in full for the fall semester or elect to enroll in a payment plan and select the payment plan that you choose. And finally, as I mentioned before, don't wait until you're on campus because it's going to be too late. Order your textbooks before you arrive to campus in August. Move-in weekend is going to be the weekend of August 20th. I will admit to you, we do not have that full schedule ready and complete. We are working on the exact details of some scattered move-ins and exactly how that whole process is going to work. However, I assure you that by the middle of July, we will have finalized all of those details. And as soon as we have them available, we will be pushing them out to all of our enrolled students so that you can make plans accordingly. However, the one thing that I do know with 100% confidence is that classes do begin on August the 23rd. So you can mark that down and expect that those days prior to August 23rd will be when new students move in. If you're a freshman, I encourage you, if you're a Facebook user, to consider joining the West Virginia Wesleyan class of 2025 on Facebook. We already have some conversations emerging on there. That's a great place, obviously, to meet and to get to know other students that are going to be moving in with you this year, that are going to be freshmen alongside you. But one of the really neat features that our new students, our freshmen, tend to use this platform for every year is a way to just kind of like find those connections that you're looking for. So for example, right now, as I said, about 95% of our new students already have their class schedules. So it's not uncommon for the students to take a screenshot or a picture of what their fall semester schedule is, post it on the Facebook page and say, hey, does anyone have class with me? In the same regard, next month, we'll be mailing out housing assignments to all of our new students as well. And a lot of times, once you have your housing assignment, students will begin posting on there and say, hey, I'm living in, Jenkins room 210. Is anybody else living in Jenkins who's on my floor? And through that Facebook page, you may very well find the person that's living right next door to you or right across the hall. It's a really good way to just kind of join the conversation, start meeting people, and start making those connections before you ever even step foot on campus. One thing I can tell you for sure, that with the exception of the admissions staff who's only there to post reminders and to answer questions, the group is 100% yours. It's for the freshman class, and we're only there to kind of guide you along, and that's it. So go ahead and start chatting, and we look forward to seeing you there. Otherwise, that pretty much sums up all of our next steps that we hope or expect for you to complete this summer. The only note that I did not make, I touched on it, but didn't really provide the details, is housing. We are going to begin housing assignments for all new students the week of May 17th. That's when we do everything on the back end. So that's when we're reviewing all of the housing forms and all of the requests that new students have made. And then we'll start compiling all of that information, entering it into our system. And you can expect those housing assignments to arrive at your doorstep in the mail. It will come with your bill. We expect those to be mailed by early June. You should have those in your hands at your home, probably by the second week of June. At the latest. When you receive that, that's going to have your roommate's name, your roommate's contact information, and it'll have your room number and the residence hall that you're living in. So it'll be a very comprehensive piece of information for you, and likely one of the things that you're really probably looking forward to receiving next. Otherwise, I thank you for your time. My contact information is here at the bottom of this slide. I am more than happy to answer any questions that you have and to help guide you through this process as you go. So with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to any questions that there might be.
Hi, Leah. So I'm looking at the chat and I do see a few questions.
Sure.
The first one is, can students use financial aid to buy their books from the online bookstore?
Sure. So absolutely. If you are a student whose financial aid is exceeding the total cost of attendance, you will receive a book voucher electronically in your Wesleyan email. So once again, I can't stress enough how important it is to determine your Wesleyan username and password and to begin accessing your Gmail account, your Wesleyan email account, so that when that book voucher comes due, which will be later this summer, they usually try to align it as best as possible with the opening of eCampus. You can absolutely apply that book voucher to your textbook purchases on eCampus.
Then another question in the chat is, are students required to have health insurance all 4 years they're enrolled at WV Wesleyan? If so, do they have to submit the health form and insurance proof each year?
No, you do not need to submit it each year. So to start, we request that you just send a photocopy front and back of your health insurance card. You can submit it to that same email address, healthforms@wvwc.edu, which again, the link for that is on the orientation page on the website, but that's not something that you have to resubmit yearly.
And then the last question that I see is, how many residence halls are on Wesleyan's campus, and are they co-ed or gendered specific?
Sure, that's a great question. So we have 7 residence halls on campus. Of those 7 residence halls, 5 of them are options for new students. Okay, are they gender specific? So there are, let me make sure I'm correcting myself here. There are three of the 7 residence halls that are gender specific. One of them is all female for upperclassmen. One is all female for all students, and one is all male for all students. Other than that, all of the other 4 residence halls are co-ed. Of those co-ed residence halls, if it is a standard housing residence hall, meaning you have community style bathrooms, it's community style living, so the long hallways with the shared bathroom at the end, those residence halls that are co-ed are co-ed by floor. So females might be on the 2nd floor, males on the 3rd, and so on. If you're in a premium housing residence hall, in premium housing, you have a private bathroom. So the bathroom is within the room, it's not in a hall. In which case, our premium housing residence halls, they're not co-ed by floor. They're a little bit mixed up on the floor. So males and females are sort of scattered all throughout the building. And really what it boils down to is the bathroom situation. I think that answered everything in that question.
Yeah, I think you covered everything. While we're on the topic of housing, I'm not sure if you touched on this, but what does the housing requirement look like for first-year students? Is there one?
Sure. So we do request, we are a very highly residential campus. I think it's like 90% of our students live on campus. So especially freshman year, are the students who are able to commute, are students who graduated from a high school that is in either Randolph County, Upshur County, Barber County, or Lewis County. If you haven't graduated from a high school within those counties, then you would be not able to commute and you would live on campus in that case. However, we do have options for students to live off campus once you're an upperclassman. So several years ago, West Virginia Wesleyan, at the request of our students who sort of wanted that off-campus house sort of feel, the college purchased quite a few, numerous houses. I want to say we have at least over 20 at this point in time. So as long as you meet certain criteria as an upperclassman, for example, you have to be in good judicial standing and you have to have like a specific GPA, things like that. You have the ability to live in an off-campus house that is college owned. They're right within the general proximity or perimeter, outside perimeter of the campus. So they're still very, very convenient to campus by all means, but it's getting you that feel of being in a house. But the nice part of it is it's a college owned house. So it's being maintained by the college. It's being cleaned by the college, the grounds are being kept by the college, and you're not having to deal with like landlords and that sort of thing. So that's been a really great addition for our students at their request.
Great. And another common question we've been getting from students is, what about my car? Can students bring their car on campus, and what does parking look like?
Sure. So we do have we have more parking spots on campus than there are students, which is good news. All students, including freshmen, can bring a car on campus. The parking fee is $100 for the year to have your parking pass, so it's not too terribly expensive by any means. For the most part, you can park pretty darn close to your residence hall. I can't say you're going to be able to park right at the front door. You might be a building over, but it's not like you have to park all the way across campus and walk to get to your residence hall. So there is ample parking, and it's $100 for the year for your parking pass.
All right. And then I just want to end with a final question of what kind of services are available for first-year students?
Sure. So we have a student success program within, the college and student development. The student success program is there for truly anything you need. There's tutoring availability. There's guidance and advising. There's advising for internships. There's all sorts of resources. If you're a first generation student, they have programming just for first generation student. So really, they are the primary support system of the campus. They're kind of the core or the nucleus of it for any of those types of services that you need. However, all new students are also enrolled in their very first semester in a first year seminar program. And your first year seminar is meant to be there as an extra added layer of support for you so that you have a go-to advisor, a go-to class weekly, and it's there to help you make that transition to college. So all of the support is there for you so long as you ask for it.
Wonderful. I don't think we have any more questions in the chat. So with that, I'm going to head and close. And I just want to say thank you to the team at West Virginia Wesleyan for joining the College Foundation of West Virginia during College Commons Week. Please be sure to reach out to Leah with any questions you may have. And thank you to those who joined us to participate in this webinar series. If we could be of any further assistance, please be sure to reach out to us at cfwv.com. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.